Hi, everybody. I'm here with James Gardner, and we're just doing a very quick show and tell. This is the new poetry. We've made quite a lot of changes. We've both simultaneously made it easier to use. We've eliminated buttons and the need for more clicks. But we've actually improved the sophistication. All of the features within classic poetry, as I'm now calling it, are still in here. It's just a lot more automated. So, James, thank you for taking 2 minutes. I'm just going to quickly show you a couple of things, and then over to you. I'll find out what you think. So,
Sounds good.
okay, so instead of the tile interface and the tile desktop, which took you into all of the individual solutions, one of the things we recognized is that recruiters live in jobs. They don't really live in assets. They don't really live in content libraries. They live in jobs. And what we recognized was every time somebody was building a new job in poetry, they were building a new playbook. They were building a new playbook. And actually, as a better architecture, like architectural structure around data, we want to be driving people into jobs. So every job will update every time somebody builds it afresh. So let's take a look at this one, for example. It's a senior software engineer. So on the left-hand side, I've got some background on the actual role itself. And a bit further down, this is where I can add new team members, invite someone new, and then I can add in a hiring manager or a recruiter or whoever else it might be. Okay, on the right-hand side, I've got all the different assets and pieces of intelligence and things that I need. So here's an example of what you've got in here. Here's the challenges and responsibilities in this role, relevant courses in this location related to the role, the strategic value of the role to my company. This workspace is for my business poetry. The potential for the role to become automated, recommended skills and qualifications, salary range and benefits, similar job titles, where to advertise, the characteristics of employers that hire for this, the companies with the best career opportunities, the largest employers for this type of role in this location, job and industry insights, remote work trends, commutable locations where there are people who can do the job, diversity trends, turnover and growth rates, and demand v supply. Okay, so now that I've got a good background on the role itself, here's all the other assets and things that I need to work on it. So here's my kickoff meeting template. I can share that with the hiring manager. They fill it in, and then I could redevelop all the assets based on that additional intel. Here's talent persona, Boolean strings, conversation guide, social media outreach messaging, my company's EVP contextualized for this talent persona, job advert, social media post, brand adverts if I need a carousel for a volume campaign, email outreach, landing page copy, job description, objection handling responses, skills-based hiring tells me which are the must-have, nice-to-have, and transferable skills, candidate interview questions, candidate offer letter, and what we call interview process. So this includes the recruiter screen stage, hiring manager stage, technical case study stage, and values and final, which is my company's recruitment process. I can share everything in here with the hiring managers and HR business partners and whoever it is. They can come in here. We can collaborate. So we can upload any other assets in the influences area, and everybody can collaborate. And we just tag each other to, give each other a message, and then they'll get an email notification, etc. Just one of the things, the competitors area. So let's say I'm interviewing a candidate who works for iSIMS. I can come in here and I can see this company's strengths, weaknesses, growth trajectory, leadership, etc. And on the right-hand side, why us, not them. So it's talking points for recruiters. So there's a lot in here. It's typically saving recruiters 2 hours a day. It's enabling better collaboration, better consistency of go-to-market assets and candidate experience. I'd love to know, if you got any comments.
I mean, my initial comment is that number one, it seems quite intuitive to use, which I think is the important factor. I mean, if we think about, to use an analogy, when we had smartphones coming out, what really differentiated the iPhone, for example, was it was intuitive. You kind of knew where you're going to go. But I also think that having, for want of a better phrase, all of the assets that you could ever think of that are required to direct the process from end to end for a hire sit in one place, which from that perspective is, I think, the really interesting factor. But I think I would be looking at this more from a point of view of not just it saves the recruiter's time, what it's actually providing is talent intelligence. And that, I think, is a differentiating, if I could speak, factor. Because one of the things that, I mean, recruiters, I don't think have focused enough on the past is if we're looking at competitors, we've never kind of established, oh, they're a competitor. We've never had the information at our fingertips, which could be the positively influencing messages around why us, not them. And if we're especially working in a market, not so much at the moment, but in a really tight candidate market, that sort of information is absolute gold dust. So to have that at the fingertips of the talent team, I think is absolutely paramount. And I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's any other product that is in the market at the moment that is pulling all of those different assets. And I again say that influence piece is the most important. I don't think there's any other product that does that. And I think if we think about our whole excuse me, our whole discussions around AI, what Poetry is doing there is creating the illustration and information that's required for that relationship building, judgment, assessment. It's making that piece easier, which is why we're using AI to speed up the process. So in terms of a tool, yeah, I mean, I would sit there and say that it kind of brings all necessary assets. It's like your Swiss Army knife.
It's a great description. I've never even thought about it as a Swiss Army knife. And actually, my favorite thing that you've just said is that more so than the time saving, it's like better preparing the recruiter to do a great job on the role. And I had really thought the time saving aspect was going to be the most important and the most valuable reason why companies were going to buy this. But over the last year, it's become very clear that that is not
Yeah,
why people
no,
are
I
buying
don't
it.
think. Yeah, I don't think it is. It's having that easily accessible insight to have a informative discussion with a candidate, not just about what the opportunity with you are, with yourselves is, but also have done in the right way, but also have that information to truly understand push and pull factors. And if you can start to create in that candidate push factors, then your role to entice, your opportunity to entice them to your organization is increased tenfold.
Yeah,
And I go
James,
back
great.
to, well, I go back to what we used to do at Harvey Nash.
Yeah.
This is human interaction, and what it's doing is creating greater insight and capability to that human interaction, which delivers influence. I'm all about at the moment. AI is enabling us to have the space and the room to bring the human piece to the forefront of talent acquisition, because AI is never, if you're chatting to a bot, you're never going to really be influenced in your decision making by a bot. You're going to be influenced by chatting to another individual.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And incidentally, for anybody that's watching this, that was the first time that James has seen that. So none of this is prepped. It was complete first reaction video. So James, thank you very much for taking a couple of minutes to look at that and give me your thoughts.
Not a problem at all. I'm always happy to help.